And we're live. It is Thursday. It is the 6th of November. It is the year of our Lord 2025. And it is 8:01 a.m. I was a moment late in clicking that go live button, but I wasn't a minute late, so it was still 8 o'clock when we started, which means we were on time. Folks, the estimable Holly Berkeley Fletcher has had an emergency this morning. And it is a dire one, and I want you all to think of her and keep her in your hearts. She woke up fully intending to join the show and discovered that she was out of coffee. And this raised a problem because, you can't join the show without a cup of coffee. And besides, she's dragging and she needs to go to the grocery store and get coffee so that she can properly feed her addiction as I am currently feeding mine. And so Holly is not going to be with us on the show today, but that is okay. The reason that that is okay is that we have not one but two guests coming today. Because yesterday, the estimable Catherine Pompilio and I made a video, and some of you may have already seen it. I posted it on Instagram, on YouTube, and on Dog Shirt Daily. I posted it on Blue Sky. I posted it everywhere because I'm kind of proud of it. It's one of the best videos that Catherine Pompilio and I have ever made. And it was so good that the estimable Maria Fleeton, aka Marichka, wrote in the comments that she cannot do edits like this and she needs a tutorial. And I told her that she's going to have to talk to Catherine Pompilio about getting a tutorial on these mad editing skills of Catherine's. And she said she wanted to do that. And Catherine wrote back something like, I got you. And I invited them to do it on the show because Catherine was going to come on the show anyway and talk about the video. And so both of them, sorry, somebody who's texting me right now about the John Sauer oral argument yesterday at the Supreme Court on tariffs. And the person who's texting me is male, and John Sauer is male, and therefore I got my pronouns confused in referring to both Marichka and Catherine Pompilio, neither of whom is male. Both Marichka and Catherine are going to be joining us. Catherine was going to be joining us anyway because she was going to talk about this video and teach me some of the language in it, which there are some words in it and vocabulary that was new to me in my study of intergenerational vocabulary. And so we just invited Marichka to come along and to ask for the impartation of Catherine's mad editing skills, which really are deranged. And we're going to talk about how we put this video together, and we may even talk about some of the planned special military operations that we have that are teased in that, although we will, of course, do it with some plausible deniability, of course. First off, however, there is something we need to do to bring everybody to level set and make sure everybody is in the same ability to have this conversation, and that is we need to play the video. Then I'm going to introduce Marichka, and it's going to be and then at some point Catherine will show up, and we will be and that's how it's going to work. So whoops, hang on a second, we're gonna tee up this video and we're going to play it, and then we're going to do, minus the cactuses, we're going to do the stuff with the cactuses, and we're going to introduce Marichka, and it's going to be brilliant. You're going to You're going to love it. Here is my screen. There is Catherine Pompilio. And let's make the screen a little bigger so that you can actually see the video. You can see all of the brilliant editing that Catherine has done on it. Let's see if we make it, that looks like it's getting smaller. Now it's getting bigger. Um, uh, Whoops. Wait, what's going on here? I shared the wrong screen. Wait, we gotta start this over. I shared the wrong screen. This is not professional. It's a problem, guys, and I apologize.
Ben,
Um,
come on.
yeah, I know it's awful. All right, we're gonna try this again. We're gonna share the right screen this time, not the Dog Shirt Daily screen. We're gonna share the YouTube screen, and which one is it? There it is. Okay. All right, you see it?
Yes.
Monster 300
Okay.
watt
Now we gotta
LED
turn it back.
for the gear.
Here we
Hey
go.
girlies, let's unbox a very special new addition to the hashtag special military operation family. The meanies took away all my equipment a few months ago. Super weird of them. I mean, yeah, I may have been projecting on the Washington Monument at the time, but guys, I'd done that before. Seriously? Rude. Well, we move on. We live, we laugh, we love, we learn, and it's a shopping opportunity. So we buy new projectors, a new Gobo projector, and he's a monster 300 watt LED for the gearheads. Here he is, all tucked in his styrofoam. Let's see if we can coax him out. Guys, look, he's coming out of his shell. This is Grip-On. He has the power to throw a lot of lumens on a building far, far away. Also, just wanted to do a quick fit check for you guys. I figured this shirt was perfect for Grippon's homecoming. Anywho, totally unrelated, look at this kooky picture of our FBI director. I wonder what this would look like through Grippon's eyes. And look at this one. It's giving obsessed fan behavior vibes. And this is Death Head Putin. He's just saying hi. Again, totally unrelated to Grippon. I promise. Expect me.
You know,
Hey
folks,
girlies, let's
um, uh, the sun is shining. The birds are chirping. It is going to be a great fucking day. And you are watching Dogshirt TV, and it's a goddamn revolution in morning television. And one of the revolutionary features, of which there are an increasing number, is that sometimes I decide to make an unboxing video, and whenever I try to do an unboxing video, I invite K-Pomps to write the script and do the editing because she just is way better at this shit than I am. And so we have these crazy fun collaborations, and I always learn like new words. Like I didn't know what a fit check was until yesterday. I'd certainly never done one. Um, and um, and also, I thought the second Kash Patel image was giving off certain vibes, but Catherine corrected me. The proper usage is giving certain vibes. I had to remove the off. That was a very careful little sonic edit on my part. So, you know, you learn a lot of vocabulary when this happens. And also, I didn't really know what an unboxing video was until Catherine taught me that a couple years ago. So, you know, we have these little collaborations and then we bring it to you on the show, how it was all done. And another one of the revolutionary features is that because Ukraine is never far from the front of our minds. Sometimes it recedes back to here or something, but it's never, you know, like not there. Um, uh, It is important to remind people that there are certain special military operations that have not happened yet that need to happen. And that when you do that, it is very likely that Marichka is going to get in touch. And when she says, hey, I need a tutorial on how to do edits like this, and that strikes a little bit at your heart because Marichka's Instagram feed, unlike mine, is actually important. It is actually coordinating a whole shitload of activism that is completely invisible to most people, but is very visible to Ukrainians all over the world, and who are, is not an accident that when President Zelensky comes through Washington, he doesn't meet with me, but he does meet with her, and there's a reason for that, and it's wrapped up in that Instagram feed, which you should follow. Importantly, that means that when Marichka says, hey, wait a minute, I can't do an edit like this, I need a tutorial, I say, just come on the show because Catherine and I are going to be talking about it, and we can do, or particularly Catherine can do details, and we can go into a little bit of a tutorial. And so all of that is a long winded way of saying that it's in fact a 12-minute long-winded way of saying that we are not allowed to have fun anymore, but we are allowed to have K-Pomps and Marichka here to talk about how to do crazy Instagram and TikTok videos. I'm not on TikTok, but other people are, and also to answer your questions about any forthcoming special military operations that you might be curious about, involving either Death Head Putin or Kash Patel, in either of those weird ass iterations of him. And so I am just going to, first of all, turn it over to you, Marichka, and say you have questions. I have, it's like that scene in Annie Hall where Woody Allen pulls out Marshall McLuhan and says, I have Marshall McLuhan right here. Why don't we ask him? I have Catherine Pompilio right here. What are your questions?
Yeah, so basically, we talked a little bit earlier. So first of all, the very big difference between my editing and this amazing production of Catherine is the app you're editing in. So I usually edit in VN or TikTok itself, and it does not provide this very special effects. And like, if you really wanna make a video fun and catch attention of people, you have to add those in the first look, and it might be weird things, but then you realize that it's actually giving the video the entire flow. And yeah, so I'm wondering, how was the process of choosing each effect? Was it random, or did you plan like, okay, here is better to put fire, or here's better this, or does this app CapCut, right, does it has any suggestions maybe?
Yeah, so the app is CapCut. Thank you for recognizing the crazy edits. When Ben came to me, I don't know, Ben, like a year ago probably, and was like, "Hey, I want to do these quirky videos." I started editing the first one while we were at the office, and I was just giggling to myself on the laptop, because in CapCut there are all of these. It's basically it's owned by ByteDance, so like TikTok's parent company. And it's basically just like a more intense version of the in-app TikTok editing. I have absolutely no plan when I go in to edit these videos. I just know that I want to make them as ridiculous as possible. And so in
Also, as consistent with the kind of girly pop,
yeah.
get ready with me, like talking to other 19-year-olds or something. There's a consistent vibe of all of these edits,
Yeah.
which is of course contrasted with the fact that I'm a now 56-year-old male.
But that's what makes it so good, right? Like
Right.
I'm
That's what
excited
makes it
to
funny.
hear that coming out of your, and even like the language that you use, even in your explanation this morning, you don't, like you said, you don't give off certain vibes, but also correct words, you don't even add vibes. Like it's giving fan behavior. That's it. Or it's giving obsessed. It's giving, or you can just end it
Okay,
at,
see, I don't speak that lingo at all.
yeah. That's why it's funny to hear it come out of your mouth because it's really forced and funny. Um, but yeah, no, I just there's like I can show you if I share my screen in a bit, but there's a either like a special effects tab or like video effects or stickers. And I don't know, like if Ben is screaming or yelling at one point in a video, I think it would be really funny to have the camera shake to make it seem like he's shaking the camera. So I'll just search up the term like earthquake and see what comes up. And usually it's just a lot of options for shaking the camera. And then in going with the girly pop, like very 2012 unboxing video, um, I just search up like heart, sparkle, cute, and see what comes up as Ben is talking about projecting onto buildings. But yeah, that's the
But
process.
the editing starts, I mean, those touches are actually the last stage. I mean, we get the video to a quite refined, tight place before Catherine adds any of that stuff. So should we go through the whole I mean, this took a number of days of back and forth. Like, we both have day jobs, so it wasn't like we were working on this consistently. But so it started with when I decided I wanted to do this when the package arrived, because, and the serious reason to do it was to put folks on notice that there were going to be forthcoming projection operations at some indeterminate time in the immediate future. So it's kind of a way of signaling, hey, I'm back in business, right? So I knew about unboxing videos because of Catherine and some of the earlier makeup video packages. So when I unpacked it, I just took photographs of the unpacking, figuring that we would use them as a video. And then I strung them together, and I actually use a different app. I use something called Instagram Edits, which is a separate Instagram app that is actually really good for, I mean, it has some of the special effects stuff, but I don't even touch that because I'm I leave that stuff to Catherine. But it's really good for storyboarding. Like, and so I just mocked it up and like, sent Catherine a video that was, I think, 47 seconds long and said, write me a script. And so, we kind of talked what the story we wanted to tell in the script was. And then she wrote me this script that was frankly incomprehensible to me. Like, I actually couldn't. Um, and while she was writing the script, I wrote some underlying music, which is the soundtrack of the thing. Um, and then we just started going back and forth with the script and the images and adding images to support certain parts of the script, um, until we had a version that she could then add all these flourishes to. But the flourishes came last. I mean, I have a complete version of this that has the voiceover, every single image, and the and we probably did what, 3 drafts
Yeah.
um before, those touches are just like the icing on the cake. Um the cake has to work on its own, or the touches can get you only so far.
A lot of the special effects too are just kind of what I'm feeling in the moment. So like that little Pepper screaming, When you see that first picture of Kash Patel, that's the face I made. So I searched up scared and that pepper came up. Or I don't know. I think just when in doubt, glitter and hearts and sparkles are what really makes these videos shine.
So I have a question for you, Marichka. What is, you know, what is your sense of like what's the part that you don't know how to do? Because your videos are super compelling. So like what's your sense of like what's missing?
So I mean, this sparkles, this effects, I think are missing in my videos. But like, I would say it's a special trend. So this unboxing stuff, as Catherine mentioned, it was really popular. Like, you know, 10 years ago. So it was like on fire, right? And then now there is a new trend of adaptation of old trends. So you basically take all the like any trend from like 2015, 2017 or something, and you just try to recreate it. But now it looks funny. If like that time it looks very serious, cool, wow, effects, fire, candies, oh my God. Now it looks very funny. So if you want to make fun of something, if you want to catch attention, you would use those effects. And I really like I just never use them because I do in my videos accent is more on my language and some, fast changing of the pictures, something that is unexpected, rather than effects. But I would definitely gonna try this new old trend soon. I'm not sure with what exactly because I still didn't edit the sunflower videos. So I have to show, the results of our work. Many people were asking me specifically about the video, not about posts. And I have a suggestion for you. So the next thing you have to do is called OOTD, outfit of today. So,
Which
yeah, next
goes
time
well
instead
with
of
dog shirts.
yeah, it goes perfect. I want you to show like the shirts you have.
What is
Yes.
an OOTD video consist of?
And how is it different from a get ready with me?
It's a fit check. And
Yeah, it's basically a fit check. Now you know what that is.
I want you to know that I tried to get Ben to do OOTD videos during the Trump trial, but he was too exhausted. But I wanted him to be like, "Hey guys, this is my court fit. It's this dog shirt today."
So I
Exactly.
think
This is what we need.
I think
Yeah.
there's a great like choosing the right dog shirt for the day video because oddly that is something I do spend time on. Like, for like today, you know, it took a minute to decide that this is the headphone peace, love, and tofu dog foot shirt kind of day. And um, you know,
Ben, I have a
and
conceit for you.
I'm sorry.
I have a conceit for you. A variation
Yeah.
on that is if you could do it as an interview style with Emily Hogue for the specific purpose of entertaining Quinta on your choices of dog shirts. I'm here
Yeah.
only briefly to ask the semi-serious question of how comfortable you are using AI-based editing, which is, of course, what CapCut is, because it introduces a lot of philosophical thoughts. But feel free to raise that later in the show, and
But
I'll see you
no,
later.
let's address it now because how does it, in what sense is it AI based?
That I'm not so sure about. I think K-Pomps could maybe better address it, but I think it looks at your video and helps you choose things to edit and effects to add based on its ideas of maybe what you might want to do.
Oh, interesting. So
Is is that
I
right?
will let Catherine answer this question in the main. I will just say anything that looks at my content and says, I know how to make this more like a girly pop video from 2015. I cannot think of a higher use of AI, frankly. And you know, it's not it's not telling me what to think about Letitia James's trial or Putin's latest horror. It's making me conform to a style that I'm trying to imitate without knowing anything about. And it seems to me that that is worth all the electricity in entire countries in Latin America.
Totally,
Catherine?
totally. Um, that's hard to follow. Um, that so I know it's partially AI based. That's not my experience when using the app. That's more my experience when using the in editing t the in-app TikTok editing software. But CapCut, um, usually every time I log on, the recommendations I get are also like the computer maybe when seeing Ben's face doesn't automatically think like girly pop 2010, you know,
And
unbox.
I
Yeah.
and that bothers me and it hurts my feelings.
You know what's weird? There's a lot of deer recommendations with you, which I don't know.
Deer as in Bambi?
Yeah, like it'll be like a deer in a headlight and it's
But you know,
like
one of the things about AI that we don't know is we don't understand how it draws the connections that it draws. And so
true.
it could well be that, you know, it puts Ben in the same category as the deer stalkers of Sherlock Holmes variety or the deer hunters or something completely nonsensical. And, you know, just because there aren't enough people like Ben on uh, you know, TikTok. I will say the only reason I know CapCut is an AI editor is because when I Googled it, it comes up and it says CapCut AI editor. So again, I don't know exactly all the ways in which it uses AI. I'm ignorant on this.
I believe that the AI component of the software is behind a paywall. So I don't pay for CapCut. If you do want to pay, you can prompt it to say like, I want this image, and I'd put like a picture of Ben's face flying on a dragon over the Hoover Building in Washington, D.C. It could probably do that, but I don't use any of the AI
I see. So
paywall.
the premise of my question may be completely invalid, and also this is a conversation that you should come back at a time that Ev is available to have, because I think Ben would want her insights on, you know, machine generated AI content. Thanks very much. Enjoy your breakfasts.
Yeah. So, Marichka, this is a totally serious question. Tell us about the role that Instagram and TikTok play in your work.
That's a very great question. So first of all, want to add on AI stuff. So like basically all of the apps I ever used for editing, they do have AI. But you always have an option to use it or not. And generally, for my, video about things which are going on in Ukraine or some fun stuff we do in DC, I do my own editing. So meaning like I cut videos myself, I put voiceover myself. Any effects I want to add, I add them myself. Except when I want to do fun stuff. So I think AI might help here, like find better effect faster. Like Kate is throwing the word and it shows you all the sparkles and fires and everything. So that was the case, and I'll send you in the chat the video how I, with the help of AI in TikTok, I edited the video of shashlik. Shashlik is like Ukrainian meat you put on fire. Like you have to, to make it more tasty. And so I made, not I, AI made 4 different versions like of pictures of shashlik moving very fast with the super cool funk music, and it looks so exciting and fun. So I think that's the case where it's very appropriate to use AI.
But let me give you
Um,
let me give just another example of. I'm sorry. You were coming to my actual question. Um, I mean, because AI is not really the main use that you have of that feed. Talk a little bit about what you're doing with it.
yeah,
I have a specific example that I want to mention, which is Crimea Z
yeah,
lady, which
exactly.
I think maybe I should talk about instead of you for reasons related to uh, um, uh, I think I would rather I have the exposure on about talking further about her than you. But you talk in general about your feed.
Yeah, I'll keep it neutral. So, I mean, the TikTok and Instagram are very, very helpful right now, especially like I don't have the opportunity to talk to so many people, and Americans specifically in the area, in the United States in general. And here, your editing, the music you put, effects you put, everything matters so that more people can see your video. And basically, this is what happened when I came to the demonstration against Russian Cultural Bazaar, which was happening in October. We had a permit for it, by the way. And then a woman just came to us on a car, like came in front of the protesters with like posters about dead kids and stuff, which Russians are doing in Ukraine, right? And she turns on Russian national anthem very, very loud, and started like dancing very proudly. And on the back, her license plate said Crimea, Z Crimea, and Z and V is, we know it's a letters of war, which Russians put everywhere they go from the beginning of full-scale invasion, which is basically like a terroristic signs. It's the same as swastika, or like put on your license plate "I love Al Qaeda" or something like this, which is extremely inappropriate. If to say it more neutral. So what I did, I basically put it out to the social media, and I made another edit with a very, very fun music, which is like, I don't care, I love it. Everybody knows this music. I think it's like from 2010, 2015 or something. You see, like the trend is going back to that same music, that same edits, and bring them back here to our time. So that was the key. I think everybody loved that. And I just showed the regular behavior. Again, no AI, no edits, no sparkles, just what Russians were doing, like littering, attacking protesters, making fun of us and stuff. So I just put it there, and I got and there were two videos like this, similar, but one posted with collaboration with some one account, one with another journalist, and both of them got more than 1 million views.
And they
So
got
your
news coverage, and I mean
news
these
coverage,
were this was a big deal. It was a huge deal in Ukrainian media that Russians were doing this in the United States. And it, got a fair bit of English language coverage too. Um, you know, so when Marichka asks Catherine about how she's producing these videos, it comes from a place of like she is trying to run a very high impact Instagram feed, um, and doing it. I didn't mean trying in the sense of. I want to mention one other thing that Marichka did with her Instagram feed, which is not quite her Instagram feed, but Marichka was involved with the tour of a group of musicians who are in the Ukrainian military. It's a it's called Cultural Forces, and they tour the United States and other countries, playing Ukrainian and non-Ukrainian music. And for reasons that have never been entirely clear to me, the Metallica song uh, um, "Nothing Else Matters" is kind of a weird, unofficial pop culture anthem in Ukraine. And so there is this incredible video that she shot at one of the Cultural Forces concerts of one of the soldiers playing, who's a professional bandura player, playing Nothing Else Matters on the bandura, which Marichka, I can't remember if you said posted it to Instagram and then sent the video to Metallica, or if you just sent the video to Metallica. But Metallica ended up sharing that video on their Instagram feed. And so I think there's like, it's easy to joke about the hearts and sparkles, and they are when I do it and when Catherine does it, and when I say when I do it, what I really mean is when Catherine does it. Um, it's just fluff. But when Marichka edits a video, it is not just fluff. It's important that as many people see these things as possible. And so, um, and that includes members of Congress, it includes administration officials, it includes Metallica, it includes Sting, who's into Marichka's videos. And so, it's kind of I'm sort of joking by putting the two of them on the show together, but not really. And
Yeah, I mean, there was
go ahead.
yeah, that was a very fun situation, but basically I had a connection. I had a host family in California, and I knew that they are well connected to James from Metallica. And when I came to their place after finishing the tour, because we finished in San Francisco, and I just visited them because we've been working, the summer before, I've been working in the same company as my host dad. And I just decided to share with them like the entire concert, like videos of all people who were playing, performing. And then when the video come to Taras playing bandura, it's like huge guitar but has 62 strings, and Taras is playing it 40 years of his life, so basically like he's a master of bandura. We just like, okay, well, let's just show it to James, and we sent him a message with this video. And next day it was my birthday, and I'm waking up and I see Metallica posted it, and it got like, I don't know, 5 million views or something. And I mean, it's tremendous for Ukrainian culture, for music, and very strong message to the world, as well as then the performance of Taras with Sting, who we met in through our connection to Sean Penn in Los Angeles. It was also very great. And he performed also Taras, Bandura guy. He performed song, oh my God, Shape of My Heart with him, and it also was posted. And then there will be some more video from their actual concert together, but it's still unreleased. So a little bit of spilling the tea here. Also, I want to share a very funny story. Of how social media are not only helping me to um, spread a word about Ukraine, about myself and what's really going on, but also it helped me actually to get to DC, because many people are wondering, like, you were traveling 46 states before, you never stopped anywhere more than half of the year, and now I'm actually almost 2 years in DC, or even 2 years actually. Yeah, so that's fantastic. I also always underestimated how much time I spend in the United States, because it's been like almost 4 years of the war right now, like full scale invasion. And I was always thinking, oh, I'm just 2 years here, 2.5, 2 years. And then I'm like, wow, it's almost 4. Like, that's a lot. So the thing was
And
like
you've
this.
been to
I
many more states than I have.
apparently many than more most Americans.
Me too.
I know, but now I have, because I'm volunteering as a delegation leader for constituents who are coming from Missouri and Montana with American Coalition for Ukraine. I have to visit Missouri now. I got very inspired, and I've been avoiding this state because I was like, Missouri, never. But now I changed my mind. I have to go there, and I feel like I'll go soon. So
My
anyway,
closest friend from Missouri always calls it misery.
so I began my editing and all this stuff career when I was working in LA after San Francisco. Yes, I've been working in so many places. So I just started posting a daily blogs on TikTok, like literally hour by hour. What am I doing? I'm waking up at 6. I eat this. I go here. I work here. I do this and 5 other jobs.
And
Then I go home.
Marichka, let me pause you there. So these were in Ukrainian, and they were for Ukrainians. And I take it that the reason this would be interesting to people is like you're all scattered to the four winds after the full-scale invasion, and it's just a way of saying, "Hey, here's what my life is like. What's your life like, right?" Or is there something else going on there?
These are
No, that was exactly sorry, yeah.
I was just gonna say these are called day in the life videos, and if your day in the life is interesting, like Marichka's is, then people
Or
like them.
if you have like 100 things to do and you're managing it, and you're also like healthy and you eat good and you exercise and you look great and you have fun, so all of that looks suspicious to people. They have to know, like, what's up, like, where do you get your money, how do you live, how do you get there, and other stuff. And to me it was also kind of a way I felt really depressed in California, like, because everything is so far from you. It's not like people living far away. If you don't have a car and I don't have a car, it was a way for me to communicate with other people and see whether I can find people who feel the same as I do. And I did. Honestly, it helped a lot. I got so many good connections there. Of course, I was very careful, but then all of these people I met through TikTok, they were coming to me in DC, visiting my place, and then I was coming to their place whenever they live, and we've been, having fun. So I posted one video about my crazy day working in like San Francisco office, because I was editing them way later, after I was actually doing the stuff, because I didn't have any strengths. I was also that time studying in my university in Ukraine, which was online, so all the classes were at night. So I was studying like from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. And then at 6:30, I had to go to work to financial district of San Francisco, and I had to took the not a boat but ferry. So like everything was very tight. So I basically posted that. Also, like, it's very. It was I understand why this video got more than 200,000 views, because the my office was located on 50th floor, one of the tallest, coolest buildings, a lot of cool stuff inside the office. Then I'm going downstairs, and then I see Biden is coming for something, something. Everything is closed. And then instead of going home by bus, I took ferry, and I drive on a ferry to this very cool island where I live called like Spore, and it also has on a back, like, it has the prison, which is active. So like a lot of cool stuff. And then I come home and there's like two big Labradors, and I eat fancy food and I live my best life. So people had questions, and then I don't go to sleep, I go to study. And then having like 2-3 hours of sleep, I go to work again. So that basically raises a lot of questions. So couple months after, when I was applying to different jobs, I didn't know I will go to DC. I had some more time. I had half of the year to be able to work, and I was like, okay, let me change the setting. Let me go somewhere else. I applied through LinkedIn, more than 100 positions everywhere in the United States. I didn't really care where to go. I knew I will find people with who I can stay. And I will just experience something new. And so, literally a week before my actual internship starts in DC, I didn't know that yet. I was desperate. I was like, nothing is working. No jobs, nothing. I got a message on TikTok from a random account, where person doesn't have a picture, very weird name. I was like, okay, that's probably a bot or a scam. And it says, hi, my name is Alina. I saw your video on TikTok. I'm a real person. Don't be scared. I think you applied to our company, but you never showed up on the interview. I'm like, wow, how could it be? At some point, I just stopped going to all interviews, because like some of them were scam. Like it was so draining. I did like 30 interviews, and I'm like, okay, I'm done. I'm not like, I'll try to search other ways of getting a job. And she was like, we connected over the phone. She gave me her phone. I called. She was like, okay, she's a real
And she's a
person.
real person.
She's a real person. She's Ukrainian. She said, like, I'm not just social media person. I have this account to look other videos, but like not to post mine. I was like, okay, that explains a lot, because usually I don't respond to account like this. And then she goes, okay, so my my supervisor from work, she told me, oh wow, you know what? We had this application from one girl. who studies in Kyiv Mohila Academy, and her name is Marichka. And she didn't show up, but she had such a great experience. We really wanted her to be in, and like, you're Ukrainian, she's Ukrainian. We thought it's a good idea to like make an interview with her. And then Alina goes like, okay, I've seen only one Marichka in America, and I've seen her on TikTok. She saved my video, was in her recommendation, like pure fiction. She saved it. Then she went back to TikTok to her saved, find my video, and texted me. And I responded. And I was like, okay, well, look, if you found me, let's reschedule our interview. So in a day, I had the interview. I said like why I didn't show up. You know, I was like desperate and everything. I showed my work. I made the tasks they asked me, and a week after, I was already in DC. Actually, I came right from the airport with all my stuff and everything to the office to my first day of work in DC. So in my case, and when I tell this to my parents, they all created accounts like on Instagram and TikTok and everywhere to follow me because they realized that
That there's
this
something
thing
real
will
going on
literally,
here.
yeah, because they realized, and they've been always supportive of the stuff I do because they know how it's important right now. But it's literally life-saving. It brought so many connections to me, especially all this like bloggers, journalists, people who also, opinion leaders. You can also get connected, go to same events, do collaborations, which make your message stronger. So that story to me completely, I mean, it
Yeah,
changed my
you're
life.
literally
That's how I
here
ended
because of
up
it.
in DC. That's how I met you. That's how I met all these amazing people. And I
And by
mean,
the way,
this was an accident.
there's another reason, when Marichka moved to DC, I was contacted by somebody who described her as a close friend, who is the woman who had done translations, live translations for me and Nikita Titov when we were doing one of the projection operations. And this is a woman in London named Yulia. And Yulia connected us and told me I had to meet Marichka because she was, she didn't mention that she and Marichka have actually never met. They know each other purely through, an Instagram set of Instagram accounts. So Catherine, how did you get into this racket? You kind of dragged me into it. But when was like how did you get into this whole video editing thing?
How much time do you have? I'm just chronically online, and I've consumed a lot of content, and especially like as Marichka was saying, the like 2010, 2012 skincare tutorial. I learned how to do my makeup on YouTube just by watching like YouTube not even influencers, just makeup people. Um, and then when you said you wanted to do, honestly, I really got into editing when you said that you wanted to do makeup videos. I had done some TikTok editing. I made like little fun TikToks with my friends. I have a cooking account where I make funny little cooking videos, for nobody but me. But yeah, when I really learned about editing was when you said you wanted to do makeup videos. But I learned a lot from like just growing up online and
Yeah,
watching.
so like that's the side of it that I'm like there's the video editing skills, but there's also the amount of cultural knowledge that I don't have that is the baseline of all of these videos. And I only started learning about it when somebody, and I can't remember who it was, explained to me what a Get Ready With Me video was, because my video feed has literally, now it feeds me them constantly because I've clicked on a few. But um, if you're a 54-year-old, as I was, professional male, you are going to go through your life without ever seeing a Get Ready With Me video or an unboxing video or, and this is part of the siloization of our media ecosystem that there's no such thing as shared culture anymore. And, if you're a Ukrainian woman who's, in her early 20s in the United States, your feed looks nothing like if you're a 55-year-old male who lives down the block and works at the Brookings Institution. And I, I'm I have been sort of consistently impressed through talking to you, Catherine, how little I know about, youth culture, particularly female youth culture. Um, and that runs from the sort of pop culture stuff of which I was unaware that I was completely ignorant, to the product influencer culture of which I didn't even really know it existed, except that I'd heard the phrase influencer culture. And so I'm like I'm interested in your giving us a little bit of like what do you have to do in order to grow up in that culture? Is that just like what every middle school girl is getting bombarded with constantly now, or is there something you have to be interested in order to go down this rabbit hole or this set of rabbit holes?
I think it's different for everybody, but I'll say like the content that middle school girls are watching right now, or even college and high school girls are not things that I watch. Some of the videos that my 19, 20-year-old cousin sends me, are incomprehensible to me. I feel like how you feel when I'm talking to you. It's like weird brain rot, AI generated characters saying phrases that I don't understand. On my birthday, she texted me just happy birthday, Unk, which is apparently code for old person. But like again, this is all language I don't know. Um,
And
this
what is the age cutoff for it? So I feel like there's like several layers. There's the whole millennial culture, which to me is indistinguishable from you guys, but is in fact to millennials, you guys are ridiculously young and millennial and I'm ridiculously old. And there's a slice of millennial culture that is as opaque to me as this stuff. But um, like, how old does somebody have to be before you no longer have a common vocabulary with them? And how young do they have to be before you no longer have a common vocabulary?
It depends. Like I use my cousin Andrea, shout out to her, and Tyler as an example. They are the same age, and Tyler understands me. Andrea has no idea what I'm saying. I think that that might be because Tyler might be more online than Andrea is. I don't think it's an age thing. I think it's just generally like how much time you spend online and watching videos and how active you are on Twitter with the youths rather than like if you're married with your dog and your house and don't have TikTok or Instagram on your phone, you have no idea what I'm going to be saying. Um, I have another cousin who like I joke is an old man because I say the most ridiculous like brain rot terms to him and he has no idea what I'm saying. Kind of like I do.
Okay, so I want to ask you both this question. So part of my persona that I'm trying to develop as a fake influencer is that I think I'm hip and know all the terminology, but that I'm in fact completely ignorant and ridiculous, and that I don't know that I'm being ridiculous. And so, should I A, learn the culture well in order to parody it, or should I willfully remain ignorant and just have you write stuff for me and, engage it as kind of like a, I don't know what the fuck I'm saying, but it sure is fun. Like, what's the right way best to make fun of myself in that regard?
That
I
second
think
one.
it's definitely, yeah, to stick to the current plan. Because like, it's not if I have the assumption, which is probably 100% truth, that if I would make the same video as you just did with unboxing, and I would say the same script, it would look more natural for me because I'm 23, actually almost 24, oh my God. Yeah, then like from you. So from your perspective, it looks very unique. it looks sometimes like you don't know what you're talking about
Yeah,
and
it's
someone make the
supposed to.
script for you, and it's exactly what we need, like that what catches attention. So just stick to your plan. And to add about the age stuff and everything, I have a sister who is 17 right now. He's much more popular on TikTok than I am, and like she spends more time because in Ukraine there is not many things you can do when you don't have the electricity, like blackouts, shellings and stuff. And she spends significant time on the phone, and I understand, and I'm actually very supportive of the stuff she does online, because if she will become an influencer and keep spreading her, like, she's making rings or something, she'll be selling stuff. It's actually very good that she has something to do. But this, like, 50% of the stuff she's posting, I don't understand because I don't know this local jokes. Because first and foremost, I'm almost 4 years not in Ukraine, so the country is important for the content
Right.
context. And also because I can't keep up and follow all the trends. Like when I see something, I replicate the trend, I add something for myself, and what that's exactly what you should do. Whether it's old trend or new trend, if you like it, you just make it appropriate for your context, like adding Ukraine or America or something. And then you have your video. But again, to be able to keep up with all the stuff they have, now I talk to my, like, I have cousin who is like in fifth grade or something. I don't remember. I haven't seen him for 4 years. So like, I don't get what he's saying to me in my native language. I don't get it because he watches all this YouTube gamer stuff. I'm like, streams. What do you mean, man? I don't understand. What kind of language is that? And what do you want from me? So I would say now I feel old because I can't comprehend, and like all the slang stuff, I still don't get it. So yeah, I'm with you here.
It's
Also,
the
one
way it's the way Soviet era Ukrainian emigres talk about you guys, right? They speak a language we don't understand. They don't speak real Ukrainian. They speak this new stuff. Super interesting.
I'll
Sorry,
also
Catherine.
just, this isn't about Ukraine, but just I'll add something that's relevant to this right now. A lot of the vernacular and like common everyday like conversations not online is you refer to the chat. So like, can I get a dub in the chat? Like means even though there is no chat, you are not live streaming, but it's just like internet speak. I think you talk. Thank you, Andrew, for the dub. I really appreciate that in the chat. Um, but or somebody else put like is Chief Wittes cooked or yeah, thank you, Andrew. Is Chief Wittes cooked or is he rizzing? Like that is brain rot terminology from probably a year ago that if you said to a youth now, they would be like, please go away. You are too old. But I think that like what you said, part of the beauty of your videos is that you have no idea what you're saying, and it's wonderful for that. And even though these videos, the videos that I make, the videos that Marichka makes, take a lot of work, right? The
They
second
really
you,
do.
the second that you appear to be trying too hard, it becomes cringy. And so if you're trying to, unless it's you, bad, like the cringe is part of the charm here. But like if you're like every day, hey guys, I'm here doing this again, and it took me 5 hours to edit this. Sometimes people are just like, whoa, she's trying too hard. That's crazy. Get a real job. Don't be an influencer. But then the second you start getting picked up on TikTok or the algorithm, people are like, okay, cool. This is what I want. So you kind of have to like lean into the cringe.
Yeah, I'm all about leaning into the cringe. I want to say one thing about leaning into incompetence and the cringe, which is particularly for Richard Wattenbarger. Um, so I did compose this music myself, and I uh, was trying to lean into the cringe in the music. And so the idea was that I was taking it very seriously and trying to play vibes or the marimba, but I was just plucking it out. And so it's sort of intentionally made to sound like I'm completely incompetent with a marimba, but taking myself very seriously about it. And not sure if anybody will pick up on that, but the idea, yeah, is again to be as ridiculous musically as I am verbally when I'm saying, "Hey, girlies," which is there is one serious thing in this video, and I want to say before I close, which is Anonymous used to have the slogan "Expect Us," which they would close all their videos with. But of course, they were wearing Guy Fawkes masks. It was Guy Fawkes Day yesterday. And they were anonymous, which I believe there's a place for anonymous speech, but I don't engage in it. I believe in signing my own work. And so I adopted a variant of the slogan, which is "Expect Me," which is said with a smile, and but it is like me, not like some guy with a fucking mask. So I just want to say to uh, Kash Patel and to Vladimir Putin, expect me. See you later, guys. We'll be back tomorrow. Thanks, Marichka. Thanks, Catherine.
Bye.